Hey there, Purpose Pursuer. Welcome back to my channel. I am Trasetta Alexander, faith-based business and productivity coach. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 6 tips to overcome distractions. You are not going to want to miss this. This day and age, we have so much vying for our attention, especially with the introduction of smartphones. So we always have bells, notifications, ringers going off, grabbing our attention because we're constantly on. There's very little distinction between home life and work life, and we're always connected because of the internet and cell phones. People can connect with us wherever we are simply because of this little thing that we carry around in our pockets or in our purses consistently. While it's great that we are able to get an answer to a question at the drop of a dime, or to be able to make a quick phone call to find out if there's something in the pantry that we need to cook dinner for the night, whatever the case may be, while that is great, it also poses problems when it comes to productivity because of all those bells, dings, ringers, and distractions that we have. Our productivity can take a huge hit if we don't take the time to set some boundaries so that we're able to make sure that we're able to be our most productive selves. And like I said at the offset, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 tips that you can implement in order to minimize distractions. Tip number 1, go ahead and turn off your notifications, especially when you're doing focused work. When you're working on a project or a task that really needs your full and undivided attention, I promise you, the world will not come to an end. People will be able to survive. Your staff, your coworkers, your boss won't necessarily miss you very much if you take some time to turn off those notifications. I know that can be daunting because we think that we're going to miss out on something, but ever since I have taken the time to turn off my notifications, especially during those focused work times, but also at night, I have set up for my phone to automatically go on Do Not Disturb between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. because I found that those bells, those notifications were coming on in the middle of the night when I get an email, and it would wake me up. It would disturb my sleep. And so not only was it disturbing me when I was actually working, but it was disturbing my sleep and making me tired. And when you're tired, when you don't have the energy, you can't be your most productive self. Uh, Energy is one of the 3 pillars of productivity. And so don't discount the fact that your energy plays a part. So turn off those notifications, especially at night, when you're working on a special project that really needs your undivided attention. You might even consider turning off some of your notifications altogether, or at least removing the badges so that you don't see when there's something there, where you can take the time to go in and it's intentional, it's scheduled, so that you know that this is what my focus is right now, is to check my email, check my social media, whatever the case may be, as opposed to you seeing that little icon and it being like the Krispy Kreme hot now sign, where it's like drawing you in so that you're distracted from whatever it is that you're really desiring to do at the time. Tip number 2, keep a notepad nearby you at all times. This is something that I do. I keep a notebook in my purse. In fact, I just shared in a previous video of my favorite things, my favorite notebook right now, the Rocketbook Everlast. I keep that with me everywhere I go so that when I get an idea, when I get a thought, when there's something that I need to remember to do, I can quickly write it down so that I don't forget. And for me, I'm very tactile. And if I write something down, I'm much more likely to remember it. And if you keep a notepad with you, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be just one of those little flip notepads like the detectives in the movies and TV shows use, where you just can really quickly, when you have an idea or if you have a thought of something that you need to remember to do, a phone call you need to make, whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and just jot that down really quickly so that you have a place, a designated place where everything goes that you can quickly flip back through and find the information that you need. Tip number 3, set uninterrupted time. This is especially helpful and in your workplace if you have people who come to you regularly for advice or they have questions. If you can set at least an hour a day where it's uninterrupted time and the people know that you're not to be interrupted during that time, you can be so much more productive. Let them get their questions in before, or they know that at a specific time they'll have access to you again. And plus, it can also help them to develop that skill of being able to think through things on their own, or to come up with their own solutions to any problems that they may have. So they may not necessarily need you as much. It also is helpful at home if you have small children or a spouse who constantly needs things, where you say, okay, mom needs 30 minutes. She's going to be doing some work, and for 30 minutes, you're not to disturb her. And after that, we're going to have some family time. We're going to have some fun time. Or even if it's your spouse, encourage them to work on something else, whatever goals they may have, encourage them to be working on their goals while you're working on your own. Or even if it's just you cleaning the house, whatever the case might be, encourage the family to have this uninterrupted focus time. And then you come back together at the end of that time. You will be surprised at just how much you can get done in just a simple 30-minute period. In fact, one of the productivity hacks that I share regularly is to use the Pomodoro technique in order to get things done. And that's where you set a timer for 25 minutes. You go to work on whatever it is that you're wanting to get done for 25 minutes. When that timer goes off, you stop and you take a 5-minute break. And if you want to continue, you can set the timer again and go for another 25 minutes and take another 5 minutes break. Or you can stop and go back to your family time if that's what you're working on at the time, or that's something you desire to do. The thing with the Pomodoro, let me just say this. After 4 cycles, you're going to want to take longer than a 5-minute break, at least 30 minutes. So 30 minutes to an hour before you carry on. Tip number 4. Schedule research time. One of the things that I do, especially being in business, I am constantly researching things. I'm researching trends that are going on in the marketplace. I'm looking at what are those innovations, what's coming to market. Sometimes I'm researching to see what strategies or techniques are already out there for helping people to be their most productive selves, so that I can fill in any holes that I potentially see. There's lots and lots of research. Sometimes I'm doing research for, I'm getting ready to publish my first book, and sometimes I have another book that's already written that I need to finish doing the edits on, and so, there's all kinds of research. Sometimes I'm just researching quotes. There's quotes that I want to share. I'm sharing on a specific topic, and I want some quotes to put in there. Whatever the case may be, schedule time to do research so that you don't end up kind of going down that rabbit hole of like, oh, I have this thought. Let me go look it up right now. And you're in the middle of doing something else. Write it down in that notebook and then schedule time for you to actually research whatever it is that you're interested in doing research on. And then set a time limit to it so you don't end up down the internet rabbit hole. Tip number 5. Use a time tracker. Now, this one, it can be really helpful to identify what those time wasters are, what those distractions are in your life, essentially what you do is on a piece of paper, or there's different apps that you can use for this as well. But I'm old school. I like to use analog for this, but you just write down everything that you do throughout the day. While you don't necessarily have to break down to all of the minutia if you don't desire to, but you can do so. So instead of saying like 2 minutes to brush my teeth and um, 15 minutes to do my hair, I just say 30 minutes or an hour to get ready or to get dressed, right? So do it that way. But write down all the different activities that you do throughout the day. If someone interrupts you, write that down. If you get a phone call, write that down. Just literally everything that you do, and do this over the period of at least a week. I recommend 2 weeks, so you can get a better picture of those trends in the times of the day that you get the most distractions, as well as the types of things that you're spending your time doing. Because a lot of times we feel like we don't have enough time to get things done, when the truth of the matter is we're spending our time on things that don't move us in the direction that we desire to go. We're wasting a lot of time. Not that you can't binge out on Netflix every now and again, but is that what you want to do on a day-to-day basis? So in order for you to be your most productive self and identify the time that you do have to be able to get done all that you desire to get done, it's important to discover where your time is going. Then you can reallocate as necessary. And my last tip, tip number 6, is to have a specific goal. When you have a specific goal in mind, it helps to be the driving force in your life. It helps to drive all of the activities, all of the things that you're doing in your life so that you can achieve the goal. You're much less likely to waste time or to spend time doing unproductive activities when you have a specific goal in mind that you're trying to achieve. So if you can set a goal, then work towards the goal, you will be so much more productive. And it can help you to say, nope, I'm staying on focused here. I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted or get sucked into time wasters because I am on a mission to fulfill this goal. So those are my 6 tips for overcoming distractions and kicking time wasters. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. And if it has, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss another video update. Remember, you got this and God has you. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.